Welcome back to this week's episode of Thoroughly Entertained. We've been gone for a while, so we have a lot to catch you up on. First of all, today we're going to be talking about the Wolverine, the Way, Way Back, and Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters. In the new movie, The Wolverine, Logan returns to Japan to say goodbye to a dying friend. But that dying friend has one request that could change everything.
So, our question of the week is, what has been your favorite summer movie so far? There's only a couple weeks left in the summer movie season, so what's it for you, Scott?
For me, it's kind of a toss-up between either Iron Man 3 or maybe Now You See Me. Those were the two that I enjoyed absolutely the most this summer.
I would have to say I really enjoyed Monsters University.
Yeah,
I thought that was a solid movie and it was super fun. I also really enjoyed The Man of Steel. So
yeah, Man of Steel was awesome. This has been a really good movie, summer for movies.
Alright, so Wolverine, your favorite thing about the movie?
My favorite thing about the movie is I really liked how director James Mangold did the fight scenes. I liked how he pulled them back a little bit so you could see everything that was happening instead of kind of the slam bang, like quick cuts that are so popular now. That was definitely my favorite thing about the way the movie was done.
My favorite thing was Hugh Jackman is just a beast, and he is really emotive and intense as this particular character. He was so physical in his role as well that I thought worked super, and I just really enjoyed him as a whole for the whole movie.
Yeah, he's great. So what was your least favorite thing about the movie?
It didn't make sense, and lots and lots of it. Like, the ending I thought was terrible. I didn't think they segued necessarily one idea to another. It felt a lot of disconnection throughout most of the film, and yeah, I'm not that big of an X-Men fan, and so I needed more to make me love it.
Yeah, for me, my least favorite thing is I thought the last 20 minutes of the film was a little bit awkward and disjointed, and I didn't love the giant adamantium samurai that he fights. Like, I thought that idea was kind of weird, especially since they were pulling from such good source material from the comics that I found it interesting that they made the ending that kind of off-center. But otherwise, I thought the movie was pretty good. What did you give it, Krista?
A B-, I think.
And I gave it a B, and I gave it a B+. It has been a few weeks since we've seen it, so I gave it a B+, and she gave it a B-. We both liked it, but to varying degrees, I would say.
Right, absolutely. Duncan, a lonely 14-year-old boy, is forced to spend the summer with his mother and her abrasive boyfriend at a beach house, yet he finds his oasis at a local nearby water park.
Now, talking about The Way, Way Back, I really enjoyed this movie. Krista, what was your favorite thing about it?
I have to say that it was just a stellar acting job. Like, the whole cast was fantastic. I especially liked Allison Janney. She was the drunk neighbor who was all gossipy, and it's just not a role that I've seen her in typically. I thought Toni Collette, Steve Carell, they were all strong characters. So overall, all of the actors, very strong acting, and I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, my favorite thing about the film was I really liked the way they were capable of changing the tone of the film. Like, it goes from sweet to sad to funny to heartbreaking, and none of those changes seem too sharp. They always seem like they flow naturally from one to another, kind of like how people's real lives are. Sometimes you're happy, and then sometimes things that are sad happen. And I really liked the way the film balanced those tones, so you were able to laugh sometimes, and then there were other times where you were wiping tears out of your eyes. And I thought that was the best thing about it, for me.
Absolutely. What was your least favorite thing?
My least favorite thing is I didn't like what a pushover Toni Collette's character was as the mom. I think, I know she doesn't see a lot of the interplay between Steve Carell and Duncan and the 14-year-old Duncan, but as a mom, she should have some kind of idea what the relationship of her boyfriend and her son is, and the fact that she allows herself to take so much abuse and allows her son to take so much abuse, I didn't like that she felt so weak.
I agree. I would have wanted her to fight for her child more. And even though, he's not abusing him and he's just toying with him mentally, and that, like, with a sensitive 14-year-old who's totally introverted, the last thing you need is someone, like, angling you and making you feel bad about yourself and all of that stuff. And she should have fought for that and stood up for herself and had enough courage to say, I deserve someone better than you. And so I agree. I wish they would have had more of that. But since the movie was focused on Duncan and what his sort of journey was, I thought it was still a strong movie overall.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I gave it a B, and what did you give it?
I think I gave it a B+.
Yeah.
So. Not as good as Mud, another
No.
coming-of-age tale that came out this year, but still a strong overall.
Yeah, it was a real good sleeper hit for the summer.
Absolutely.
In Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters, Percy is worried that after saving Olympus, that he may have just been a one-hit wonder, so he jumps at the chance to go on another quest.
Scott, what was your favorite thing about Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters?
My favorite thing about Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters is I really liked kind of like the fun of the action scenes in the film. I thought they do a really good job with, like the water horse that they ride, with the Cyclops that they fight. I think they do a good job with the effects, keeping it not too scary for the kids that are going to be in the audience, but not too cartoony for the adults that are with those kids. So I think they did a good job balancing that.
As a not PG-13, it was just PG. Yeah, I thought the special effects and the fight sequences were believable without having any sort of gore. A couple of people die in the movie, yet it's not gruesome.
Fairly bloodless, yeah.
Yeah, and so I appreciated that. I was with my 10-year-old nephew when I saw this particular movie. We didn't see it together. And he just thought that the action and the CGI and all of that stuff was fantastic. He just loved the world. He's a huge fan of the books, and so he really enjoyed that part of it. And I did too. I thought it was well done. What didn't you like?
I didn't like the fact that they don't develop any of the emotional relationships between the characters. I mean, you have Percy and Annabeth, who basically spend the entire film joined at the hip, and they never make any play to whether they have any romantic feelings for each other or anything like that. Like, and these are two 18, 19-year-old kids now. They're not 15, so it's not like odd to play with the romantic angle between the two of them, but since there isn't any, you don't really feel like they're connected very much. So there's no really emotional ties between the characters, and that lowers the overall stakes for the movie, because if somebody dies, it's like, well, that's too bad, but it's not like the love of his life died,
Right. And I completely agree with you on this front. I think I made the comparison to The Neverending Story in my review, and like that movie, it's really designed as a family pick, and if you have children, especially preteen and early teenagers, they will love it, and you will love it as a family.
Right.
But as an adult, it is not nearly as satisfying as some more nuanced, because there is that lack of emotion and the lack of connection between the characters. And as an adult now, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not just looking for action. And so that's what overall was missing for me in this particular movie.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, a lot of the things, the cast is a really good cast, but you feel like they're so underutilized. I mean, Nathan Fillion's scene lasts 5 minutes, and it's one of the best things in the movie. But it doesn't go very long. Stanley Tucci's really good as Dionysus, or Mr. D, who leads the camp. But again, he's just a little punch of a joke here, a little punch of a joke there. So again, like, the movie could have done a little bit more for the adults in the audience than the kids. And if they would have done that, I think it would have gone from being just an okay movie, a C+ movie, which is what I gave it, to being a B or a B+ movie.
I think I gave it a B-. I liked it a little more than you did. Maybe I gave it a C.
You gave it a C+, yeah.
C+. I mean, like I said, it was a good movie. It was okay.
Yeah.
And once again, if you have young children, they will like it. It's not too frightening.
Right.
But yeah, it was a little lacking on the emotional scale for me. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Thoroughly Entertained. Next week we'll be reviewing Lee Daniels' The Butler, Paranoia, and Jobs. As always, make sure to go to our website at thoroughlyentertained.com to see our latest reviews, sign up for our movie guides, and leave your requests for anything that you'd like us to review. And we'll see you next week on our quest to be thoroughly entertained.